Continuing on, we now want to create a elapsed time of manufacture. And so that elapsed time of manufacture is going to consist of a long formula. Now, what we want to do is that we want to cast some of the values that we have into specific values. And one of the things we want to use is we want to create a numeric value. So we're going to go to, I want to believe it is in the typecasts, and it is going to be DT a numeric, and we want to click and drag this down here, right? And for the precision, we're going to make this a precision of 6 and the scale of 2. Okay. Then we're going to look at the date difference, and this is going to be a function up here. So this is going to be a date time function. So I want the date difference, right? So I'm going to click and drag this. The date part that I want is going to be minutes. So basically that is double quote MI double quote. And then the start date is going to be right here. And then of course the end date is going to be the time stopped. And I'm going to click and drag that. And that should work out. Okay. Now the next thing I need is going to be my date of manufacture. And this is going to be again a date timestamp. However, it is going to be a cast. So we're going to go DT, and I'm looking for database timestamp. Here it is. And actually, I don't want 2. I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. I want this one. Okay. And we're going to do a substring, so we're going to be looking for a component of that date item. So we're going to go ahead and pull in substring. And the character expression that we want is actually also going to be a function. And so we're going to do a cast type DT of string. Right, and we're going to go ahead and pull that here. And that length is going to be 25. Right. And then we're going to come to the parentheses, and what we want is the time start point here. So we're going to pull this right here. So what this is saying was that we want the first 25 characters of the time started, right? And so we're going to start with 1, and we're going to end with 10, which will give us the date of that manufacture. Hit enter, and then it should be good from there. All right. So that's how we calculate our new columns. And that's simply how we use some of the operators that we have above in order to be able to create those. Okay. So that should be put together now. The next thing that we want to add is we want to start creating a lookup values for each of our tables. Now in this particular database, remember, we are loading data from an outside source here into the fact table. It just so happens this data source was also a source of data for the batch table. However, when we're taking this data source that's out here and loading it into the fact table, we need to double check that the data that we put in here is congruent with the data in the batch table, product table, and the machine table, right? And that's so that way we can manage all of these foreign key constraints, right? So more specifically, we need to look up the product code of the data coming in. So we have, again, the data coming in. We'll need to look up the product code of the data coming in to see if it resides over here. Then we need to look up the batch number here to see if that resides over here. And then we need to look up the machine number over here and to see if it resides over here. So technically, we're going to need 3 lookup values. So, or we're going to need to look up 3 specific values. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag in 3 lookup functions. Okay. The first one I'm going to do is going to be a lookup, and it's going to be for the batch map, or it's going to match the batch dimension table. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to scoot it right over here. This is going to be the lookup for the machine number. And the last one I'm going to do is going to be the lookup for the product code. I'm going to go ahead and connect this to this, and I'm going to start to look up the first batch. So in that first batch, what I need to evaluate is a couple of things. So first I'm going to look up here, and in the General tab, I just want to make sure that I click on the redirect rows to no match output. So if we have something that we look up and it doesn't match, we're going to redirect the output to a no match output. However, everything that matches is going to continue on in our flow. This will make sense in a moment. Everything else is going to be the same. The connection that we're going to look up, now this is the connection that we want to look up the values, which happens to exist in our data warehouse. Since this is the batch, we're going to go ahead and select on the batch dimension table, and we're specifically going to look at the batch number. Now, on the left-hand side is the data coming in from the batch CSV. On the right-hand side is the data that's already in the data warehouse. And all I'm going to do is click and drag batch to batch, batch number to batch number, and I'm going to leave it just like that. I do not want to check any of those boxes. I'm going to go to advanced. There's nothing here to worry about, and the error, there is nothing here to worry about either. So I'm going to hit OK. And here I'm going to click and drag the blue-green arrow here. It's going to ask me, what do I want this output? I want this to be the match output. All right. That means if I click on this, I'll have another blue arrow or a blue-green arrow, and that will be my no match output. We're going to talk about what to do with that later. Okay, so let me move this here. On the machine number, in the general, we're going to go ahead and go redirect to no match. In the connection, go back to the data warehouse. Specifically, we're going to go ahead and look at the machine. Look at the columns. We are going to want to connect the machine number with machine number. So click and drag over, and that's all that we want to do. I'll hit OK. And then the last one, we're going to go down to connect the machine number to the product code, and the output is the match output. Hit OK. Product code. The general, we want redirect rows to no match output. The connection, the data warehouse. This time it's going to be the product, and the columns is going to be the product code to the product code. All right. Now the last thing that we're going to need is a destination for all of this. Right. So let me go ahead and let me just move this up. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to view format. Oh, here it is, format, and I'm going to go auto layout the diagram, which will put everything in a straight line. Okay. Now the last thing I need is a data source or data destination. So I'm going to have an OLE database destination where I'm going to deposit everything. So I'll click and drag from this. This will be my match output, and my OLE database destination will be in the data warehouse, and it will be the fact table. Okay. I'm going to take a look at the mappings to make sure everything is cool. And then notice here I have some things that I have to realign. So the number accepted is the accepted products. The number rejected is also the rejected products. So right now we have everything aligned to load data into our fact table. I'm going to save everything, and I will continue with what we're going to do with our no match outputs in the following video.